Yeah.
Okay.
You want
Good?
that gavel?
Okay. That worked. I'd like to call this meeting. Okay, I think we're good. I'd like to call this meeting to order. The mission of the Freehold Township School District is to honor and support every learner every day on the journey to become curious and engaged members of a diverse global community. A notice listing the time, date, and place of this meeting was posted on the public bulletin board of all Freehold Township schools, on the entrance door to the administrative offices of the Board of Education, on the district website, at the office of the Freehold Township Clerk, published in the Asbury Park Press on September 22nd, 2022, and sent to the news transcript on September 22nd, 2002. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call, Mr. DeVita?
Mrs. Cozzolino? Mr. Gargiulo? Mr. Matthews? Mrs. O'Sullivan? Mrs. Patton? Mrs. Thoman?
Here.
Mrs. Venatoli?
Here.
Mr. Amoroso?
Here.
Mrs. Lambert? We have a quorum.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting September 13th, 2022?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. And a second motion for the minutes of the executive meeting dated September 13th. Do I have a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? No abstentions? Thank you. All right, President's remarks. Mrs. Lambert is out today, ill. I'm filling in for her. I don't really have any prepared remarks other than to keep everyone in Florida in our prayers. Things I've been seeing on the news have not looked so well so far. So keep everybody in your prayers down in Florida. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Dickstein.
Thank you. This evening, I only have the bullying investigation report. Since our beginning of school, we've had 3 cases of harassment, intimidation, and bullying, and all 3 were confirmed.
They all seem to be in one school. Is there a problem there? Or is that one person?
They were at 2 different schools, and they were not, the incidents were not related. No. Well, we start off each year with a clean slate, so at this point, they are not repeat offenders. We'd have to look back to last year to see.
So it's not like the same person did 2.
No, and all 3 incidents are 3 different perceived characteristics or motivating behaviors.
Into public participation? Okay. All right, we're going to go into public participation. This is the first public participation for agenda items only. If anyone wishes to address the board, please write your name and address on the sign-in sheet and state your name for the record. Statements are limited to 3 minutes and should not be abusive, obscene, or defamatory in nature. Do we have any takers? Okay, seeing none, we're going to go into the Personnel Committee. Mrs. Tillman?
The Personnel Committee did not meet this evening. However, we would like to move the following items. Resignation as listed. New employment as listed. Adjustment to start date as listed. Salary adjustments as listed. Change of assignment salary adjustment as listed. Change of assignment as listed. Leaves of absence as listed. District honoraria as listed. PTO honoraria as listed. Additional compensation as listed. Railing services as listed. Data coaches update as listed. Revised substitute rates as listed. Translators, interpreters as listed. Substitute administrator as listed. And certified substitutes as listed. Oh, non-certified substitutes as listed as well, number 18.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion? Or do I have a second? Okay, any discussion? Questions? Okay, seeing none, roll call.
Mrs. Cozzolino, Mr. Gargiulo, Mr. Matthews, Mrs. O'Sullivan, Mrs. Thoman,
Yes?
Mrs. Venatoli,
Yes.
Mr. Amoroso.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank
I'd
you.
just like to share before we move on, just so I know we have people at home watching as well, so it can be memorialized. In that motion, number 14, the board did approve the increase in rates for our substitute teaching staff. We are still, although we are back full days, full programming, we have not recovered in the lack of substitute coverage. So we are in dire need of substitute teachers, substitute teacher assistants, substitute custodian, substitute everything. But I did want to point out, just for the public and anybody out there anybody who may be interested, we did raise our rates this evening to $130 a day.
Curriculum and Policy Committee, Mrs. Cozzolino?
We did not meet this evening. I would like to move number 2, rescind course reimbursement. Number 3, first reading of policy number 8550, meal changes and outstanding food service bills. I would also like to move the second reading of policy and regulation number 2425, both that policy number and that regulation number. I would like to move number 5, which is home instruction as listed. Number 6, student teacher practicum observation placements as listed. And number 7, rescind student teacher practicum observation placement as listed.
Great, thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you. Any discussion or questions? Curriculum? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Finance, Facilities, Transportation, Mrs. O'Sullivan?
Did meet as a committee today?
We did meet as a committee today. Mrs. Williams was there, Mr. DeVita, Mr. Amoroso, Mr. Matthews, and myself. The construction update is we discussed the status of 2 upcoming bids and the HVAC work completed this summer. Bob also informed us that he would be speaking to the architects this week regarding the current market for solar energy. Meal charges and policy. We discussed the policy revision on the agenda this evening. Transportation, we are fully staffed for now with 1 substitute. The Finance Committee would like to give a shout out to the district CDL trainer, Kim Daly, for getting several people through the CDL licensing process. Thank you, Kim. Hopefully she will get a few more. Okay. Number 3, certifications as listed. I'd like to move number 4, the Secretary Treasury Report, as listed. Thank you, Mr. Amoroso, for doing the bills and claims, which is $1,615,777.66. Number 6, travel and related expenses as listed. 7, transfers as listed. 8, honoraria as listed. 9, PTO honoraria update as listed. 10, consultants as listed. 11, specialized evaluations and services as listed. Number 12, the TWU sidebar agreement as listed. 13, the memorandum of agreement as listed. Number 14, disposals as listed. Number 15, grant-funded salary and substitute stipends for 2022-2023 school year as listed. Number 16, the school bus emergency evacuation and safety drills as listed. And that is it.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Questions, discussion? Okay, quiet group. That's good. So we have a second. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. We'll move into old business. We don't really have any other than that we were supposed to have a retreat. We seem to have bad luck with our retreat, but we are going to reschedule it as soon as Michelle puts out a finder. I think we'll just try to pick another date, hopefully before the end of the year. Okay, so we'll work on that. There's no new business and no further president remarks, so we'll move right into public participation on any item. So this is the second opportunity for public participation, and if anyone wishes to address the board, please write your name and address on the sign-in sheet, state your name for the record. Statements are limited to 3 minutes and should not be abusive, obscene, or defamatory in nature.
Did you say state my name?
Yes, please.
Right. Ginger Gibson from the Freehold Township District. Last meeting that I was here, actually, this is a question that goes back 2 meetings ago where I had asked if the classrooms have any other flags in them other than the American flag, the state of New Jersey flag, and the question wasn't answered in that meeting. I re-asked it in last meeting, and I was told that I don't believe I got a clear answer on the flag, but I was told that the teachers have the flexibility to demonstrate or to express any social views in their person, so they could wear a shirt or something that reflects their social position, correct? Yeah. So would that include if somebody wanted to wear a shirt that said Black Lives Matter?
I'd have to refer back to our policy, our staff grooming policy. I don't think that
No.
would be,
Can I ask you a
Disallowed.
follow-up on that? Has that ever happened to your knowledge?
No.
Have we ever faced that situation?
Yeah. And while it might not have ever happened before, as we know, the social climate is changing rapidly. So I would like an answer on that. And then also, another example would be, would a teacher be permitted to wear a pride shirt or a pride button of some sort that says pride with the rainbow on it in the class?
I believe the answer is yes.
Yes, okay. So my other question then, since the teachers are allowed to wear things like that in the class, and we know that students under the age of 18 years old are highly suggestible to what they see and what they hear, especially from authority figures. So would it be also fair to say that a child could wear a shirt that says heterosexual pride and not be told to change their clothes or be sent home?
It would have to be in line with our policy for student grooming. I'd have to, again, refer back to it, but I believe that would be acceptable.
Okay, it would be acceptable. Fantastic. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Renata Brand. My question is regarding surveys. I've been seeing on a few different websites in New Jersey that children are being asked surveys about their pronouns. Is that something we're doing or anticipate doing or have done?
We have not.
Is it something that's considered?
It's not something that we've been asked permission to do, from staff to do. It's not something I'm aware that we've been doing.
So you won't be
Not-
doing? Would you say you won't be doing?
I would say we won't be doing.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any other participants? Okay, seeing none, then I'm going to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Can I add a second? All those in favor say aye. Motion